Staying with our conversation on the referendum, Minority Chief Whip in the National Assembly Junet Mohamed now says the opposition is now pushing for a referendum to be conducted in the early years of President Uhuru Kenyatta's term and has no intention of interfering with Jubilee's arrangements.
Speaking to NTV, the MP for Suna East claimed that the debate about the referendum will be discussed at length beginning 2021, and Raila Odinga is only interested in fulfilling the agreement reached between him and the head of state.
And Oxycolia looks at the intrigues that followed the 9th of March handshake between Uhuru and Raila.
Not for the first time, Kenyan citizens are being treated to a war of words between the ruling Jubilee party and the opposition NASA. The famous handshake on the steps of Haram House appeared to spell the end of divisive politics. On the 9th of March, a deadlock had been broken. President Uhuru Kenyatta and opposition chief Raila Odinga agreed to put their differences aside and work for the betterment of the country. A few months down the line, and with the 2022 Uhuru Kenyatta succession debate dominant, the handshake is engulfed in a storm.
These people who are making noise are non-entities to this handshake. These are non-entities. Who are they?
The subject of a referendum to amend the constitution to change Kenya's governance structure has placed Odinga's camp at loggerheads with that of Deputy President William Ruto.
It came also as a surprise that immediately after the handshake, then there are calls for change of the constitution. That was not the Jubilee agenda, because as you know, there is no change of the constitution in the way of referendum that can be done in the current Kenya that we live in, without having divisions across political lineage and across political inclinations. And that is the same thing that made us come together through the handshake.
You know, the agenda of Jubilee now is the Big Four agenda, but they want to expand it to make it Big Five agenda, so that the election of 22 can be part of the Big Four agenda. That one they can do it in their PG. They can go and discuss it in their PG. And now tell Kenyans, we have expanded the Big Four agenda to Big Five. Now we have 2022 election as part of our agenda. Then that time, we will decide.
Sasa tulichotuamini kwamba Raila yeye anaangalia pale ingine hii 2022 ni kwa sababu anakaa kifunga wale watu wanakaa kama wataenda 2022.
He vehemently opposed the 2010 constitution on grounds that it had loopholes. Now, when we call for the fixing of the loopholes, he retorts that the constitution must not be changed.
If there's anybody who has taken this country hostage, it is Raila Odinga himself.
As NASA leader Raila Odinga returns to the country on Wednesday, it will be to walk into a growing din.
We are more concerned about the Big Four agenda, which is good for the country, as brought forward by the president, and the issues contained in the memorandum of the handshake, which are also good for the country. That's period. Any other things are side shows.
And therefore we cannot hide ourselves in the sand and say that all will be well. So we are only saying we entertain the handshake and what it brings to the Kenyan people, but up to where it crosses the border, up to where it crosses the reason why we came together, then we have to speak as politicians. Because you play politics, there is no other way of returning politics other than politics.
Indeed, the handshake has brought different things to different people. Oxycolia, NTV.